That lawnmower had been sitting in a shed for a long time without running. People that owned it want to see if it could get it going again. So started looking it over. I started with the ignition and I checked for spark. There was no spark. I removed the spark plug and cranked the engine, holding the spark plug against the engine frame away from the spark plug hole, and there was still no spark. I disconnected the stop switch wire from the stop switch. Tried it again, still no spark. Removed the engine cowling, checked the air gap on the armature, checked the flywheel magnet, and even checked the flywheel key. Still no spark. I completely removed the stop wire from the armature, cranked the engine, and there was still no spark. So it's obvious then that the coil was bad. So I got a new coil, and the coil for that is an armature magneto, part number 590454. And of course these include the electronic ignition module now too. So the ignition system was then okay. Then I started looking at the fuel system. Since it had been sitting in the shed, I suspected it was bad gas somewhere in the fuel system. The gas tank was empty, but the carburetor was in very bad shape. I don't know if you can see, but in the center part, in the main jet, that's completely gummed up. This area has got a lot of sediment and crud. The float pin was stuck and wouldn't even come out. I pulled it out with a pair of pliers. And the needle valve was very dirty. The float's a plastic float. It wasn't all that bad. The bowl had a lot of sediment in it, and even after it sat for a while, it still started having sediment leak in it. The gasket is bad. Intake gasket's all chewed up, and there's an O-ring that goes in here that was badly worn too. So when you get to a carburetor that's like that, it really isn't worth trying to clean that. Even if you clean it and it runs, there's a good chance there's going to be some more sediment somewhere in there that's eventually going to work its way down and interfere with the engine. The bowl nut, and I tried cleaning that. So the lesson I learned is it's really not worth it to fool with these carburetors. You can get a replacement carburetor for about $40, and you can install it in about 10 minutes. If you fool around with all this, you're going to spend a lot of time, and it's not really worth it. The replacement carburetor for this one is a 799868 carburetor. Those are Briggs Stratton OEMs. And lawnmower's running well now. So the important thing about troubleshooting is be systematic. If you run into something like a carburetor that's in this bad shape, it's really better just to replace it, not spend a lot of time. Thanks for watching.